Hey kids, welcome to Tubi Terrors number 23. Tubi Terrors was started by Al Lucard. Uh, I'll have a link down below to his channel. Great content. Better than mine. Well, what we got here is an old British schlock piece from 1958 by the name of The Woman Eater. Uh, Stars George Couros. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. He's a mad scientist by the name of James Moran. Uh, he comes upon a tree that if you feed a bunch of women into it, uh, it'll have, it'll produce a serum that will bring the dead back to life, or so he hopes. He goes down. There's a demonstration. They kind of build up uh, this sacrifice of the women. The first one, she's only billed as Native Girl, Marpessa Dawn. Very beautiful woman. Uh, that's in the jungle. What ends up happening, Dr. Moran, along with a native played by Jimmy Vaughn, Tanga. He's a drummer, and he helps with the ceremony, but he also brings the tree. It doesn't go into details of how he would have ended up getting the tree from these natives. The funny thing is this, the movie doesn't stop being ridiculous, but it does kind of get good. Uh, the first ridiculous thing, I think it's in the Amazon. I can't remember what jungle area they get it from, but it just seemed like anybody who was not white was fine to be a native of that region. There are people like Jimmy Vaughn, who I'm not sure if, his ethnicity, uh, but he does appear like somebody who might be from the Amazon. Uh, then there's like a black chief doing a ceremony. And I saw an Asian guy. uh, which helps with the, it being kind of very ridiculous. Of course, the tree is ridiculous. It has a bunch of arms that wave around and such. Um, but yeah, the sacrifice kind of builds up. There's different girls until we see a full frontal thing. Uh, Not graphic at all. Of course, this is British in 1958. So, but what really ends up saving it, I think, is the acting. George is really fucking creepy, especially later in the movie. But Vera Day, who plays Sarah Norton, um, she was kind of like a showgirl on a sideshow at a fair. She gets fired because of flirtation with her soon-to-be husband. They just meet. Jack, well, let's just call him Jack. The actor is Peter Forbes Robertson. Uh, These two, Vera and Peter, especially Vera, I mean, they're working class people. He's a mechanic, and she was on the sideshow. Uh, he helps her get her fired, but they both play him very, very well of just working class people of that time. Uh, Very believable performances, and that's the thing. It's just like you have good performances. But yeah, she gets fired. He suggests that she might find work at Dr. Moran's house as a housekeeper. There already is a housekeeper. Let's see if I can. Joyce Gregg plays Margaret. Yeah, he eventually uh, Dr. Moran wants to push her out and bring in uh, Sally as the full time housekeeper. Uh, Here's a little bit of melodrama. Margaret, you could tell, is one of those housekeepers that has been with somebody so long that they fell in love. Of course, Dr. Moran wants the young chick. He ends up falling in love with Sally. Dr. Moran sometimes would go stalking out. There's an interesting segment that has him walking the streets of, like, around Piccadilly Circus, and I'm assuming it's Piccadilly. It looks like it was. It's at night, and it looked like they did it kind of guerrilla film style. Just they took a camera out and had the actor walking through the streets. Uh, Eventually, he does, start stalking an actress, a woman that's playing a part. Uh, there's a couple hookers that actually kind of solicit him, kind of touch him, and he waves them off, and he kind of, if he's looking for a woman, isn't that the type you want? But he does get somebody who's actually kind of easy. It's both ridiculous and has some solid acting in it to sustain it beyond just being ridiculous. And the plotting is pretty decent. There's police investigating, the disappearance, and then they find the murdered body of one of his victims, and that's actually pretty interesting. Uh, it's only an hour and 10 minutes, and it's a pretty solid schlock piece from Britain. Well, and until next time, stay safe and always have a good time. Bye now.